You know what? I didn't get to go all the way like I wanted to because the fucking video was frozen. So we're gonna rewind this thing back a little bit and get hyped up in this bitch because I got my energy drink and we're ready to fucking go. Let's rewind this. Y'all ready? You know what time it is? We're in here. We in this bitch. You know what time it is. Come on, Frank, come over here. Come here, nigga. Give me a hug, give me a hug. Yeah, buddy! Go. Y'all know what time it is. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Come on, Frank. You go, buddy. Let's fucking go. You know what time it is. Welcome to the stream, motherfuckers.
I'm not fucking leaving. The show goes on. This is my home. They're gonna need a fucking wrecking ball to take me out of here.
Welcome to the stream, guys. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. All right, we are gonna definitely be covering some stuff. I'm live on all the platforms. I'm live on X, CastleClub. We out here, guys. We are definitely out here. CastleClub, Rumble, YouTube, etc. A little bit earlier than usual. I figured I really wanted to cover this Daniel Penny thing. Obviously, people are gonna be pissed off. I'm also gonna go ahead and fire up a clam chowder meeting. So let me go ahead and fire that up right now too, and then we're gonna play one more song, and then we're gonna get into the stream because you know I like to play whenever I do my clam chowder meeting. If you guys know what I'm saying, I'm on YouTube right now. I go ahead and I do something else because trolling is always fun. Where are we at here? Let me get this thing going on X. Start it now. It's 6:30. If you guys don't follow me on X, I don't know what you guys are waiting for, God damn it. Because we are lit on X. I'll tell y'all that right now. So I'm firing up the X right now. As y'all can see, my X is Myron Gaines X on there. Here, let me make this shit bigger real quick. We already got a couple hundred ninjas in here joining. So, okay. Hold on. All right, so this is the X. If you guys don't follow me on X, y'all need to follow me on X. I don't know why y'all don't follow me on X. You guys need to follow me on X if you don't. It's Myron Gaines X is the account. Hold on one sec. All right, so I'm gonna move this up here. Someone said I'm finna get banned. I'm not gonna get banned, guys. I don't think I'm gonna get banned. I'll be fine. All right.
We must make travel easy. Then we have a big party. In my country there is problem, and that problem is the Jew. They take everybody money, they never give it back. Throw the Jew down the well. Then we have a big party. If you
But you guys remember that dance? Remember that shit? All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome. We are live on all the platforms right now, guys. We are live on all the platforms. We are live on YouTube, Rumble, both YouTubes, Rumble, CastleClub, everywhere. Today we're going to be covering the Jordan Neely case. If you guys are not watching me on live, it might be better for you guys to watch me on live because I'm going to be doing the stream. So I'm going to be reacting to some videos and everything else like that. This won't be an audio only type thing. So yeah, we're going to be covering the Jordan Neely killing, as they would say. But I think that Wikipedia wants to change it to death of Jordan Neely, technically, since he didn't actually kill him. Yeah. Anyway, so okay, so I'm right here. And for those of you guys that are wondering, I am live streaming right now on YouTube, Rumble, on YouTube, Fresh and Fit, or Fed Reacts. Either one you can join, or on Rumble, Fresh and Fit. And then also we're live on CastleClub as well. Or if you guys want, also we're live where I have it, where you can actually watch the video on X. You can actually click the video and watch it. So I got the Wikipedia page up right now. So chat, give me ones if audio is good. Audio should be good, but just give me ones if it's good. So May 1st, 2023 in New York City, Jordan Neely, a 30-year-old homeless American man, was killed after being put in a chokehold by Daniel Penny, a 24-year-old United States Marine Corps veteran. Penny was found not guilty of a charge of criminally negligent homicide in relation to Neely's death, while a charge of second-degree manslaughter was dismissed. Neely's death prompted protests and a broader debate around Penny's actions and Neely's circumstances. And for those of you that are unaware, Jordan Neely, he was a Michael Jackson street performer, basically. He would kind of cosplay as Michael Jackson, dance on the subways. For those of you that are unaware, if you've never been to New York City before, the public transportation system is entertaining. I'll put it that way. Basically, you know, if you're on the train, the bus, whatever it may be, no one really has a car in New York City, guys. So in New York City, if you're gonna make it anywhere and you're not like extremely wealthy, you're not driving around, everyone uses public transportation. And if you're using the train system, which is actually very good and refined in New York City, you're gonna run into these guys. And what these guys do a lot of the times is they'll be street performing, right? Like you'll get on the bus and the niggas end up like getting you forced and they're in there fucking dancing, going crazy and shit like that, you know, with their Timbs and shit. Like, hey, time to get lit, hey, you know what I mean? And then next thing you know, some fucking music is playing, some niggas beatboxing. And then they're fucking dancing and shit like that, and dudes are moonwalking and hopping all across the fucking train and shit like that. For anybody who's been in New York City, y'all know what I'm talking about. For some of you guys in the Midwest, you guys are listening to me like, what the fuck is this nigga talking about? I'm telling you guys, it's a fucking spectacle, you know? You know it's gonna be bad when like it's not even three, it's like 6 black dudes get on the train with Nike hat, with Yankee fitteds, hey, yeah! And then next thing you know, one of them comes in with like a 1985 fucking boombox, and then they start playing some fucking, you know, some clip shit like doom, 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 doom. And then you're like, oh man, here we go. And then niggas start dancing. And then you already know what time it is, because you know they're gonna take those Yankee fitteds and they're gonna say, hey, tip, nigga. And if you don't tip, well, there's probably gonna be some problems.
Welcome, punch!
All right, so that's probably, yeah, niggas be going crazy on there. But anyway, so that's what this guy Jordan Neely basically did. He was a homeless guy that would doing these dances, right? So let's go ahead. So let's go back in time a little bit, right? So a lot of people forget about this shit, but when this first popped off, guys, you know, there was protests when this shit originally happened, all right? These BLM niggas, they're restless, right? So, oh, no, we got another black guy killed. Let's storm to the streets and complain about it, you know what I mean? So so that's what always happens. So I'm going to play this thing. This comes from, what is this? This is from the news about a year ago, prior to this, the ruling. We're going to kind of work through this systematically.
Night demanding the arrest of the Marine veteran who put a homeless man in a deadly chokehold. Witnesses say the victim was acting erratically and threatening other passengers. Whit Johnson has the latest.
Overnight, protesters demanding the arrest of a Marine veteran seen in this disturbing video putting a homeless man in a deadly chokehold.
You took drugs from us! How many more?
The NYPD now reviewing that video and calling for witnesses to come forward.
Okay, so, guys, this is what's going on now, right? I've talked about this before, but I'm going to mention this again. In the United States, right, we've gotten to a point now where if an African American is killed, or black, or an FBI, whatever they want to call themselves nowadays, it's like the changing names, right? Apparently, I'm not black either anymore, so whatever. I don't qualify. So if I died, niggas want to march for me. That's fine. No problem. They'd probably celebrate. But anyway, there's an enormous amount of pressure now on DAs, right, state attorneys, to prosecute whenever something like this happens. You're wondering, well, why? Well, the George Floyd protests kind of showed that the people are okay with destroying the city and creating civil unrest if they feel as though someone was killed in error. And whether they're right or wrong is irrelevant. The rage makes them take to the streets and go crazy. And I did a space with Stu Peters, man, and that thing was very revealing because he was there when the BLM and the George Floyd riots originally popped off. And it was bad, guys. It was really bad. He told me that they pretty much had the police precincts under siege. The cops couldn't use any force to defend themselves, really. They were throwing Molotov fucking cocktails at the police stations. The National Guard showed up, but they didn't have ammunition in their firearms because Tampon Tim Waltz didn't want them to have any sort of force. And the rioters find that out, and then they destroyed the city even more so. So what the George Floyd riots did and, you know, Rittenhouse and all this other stuff pretty much showed that, well, Rittenhouse I think came after the fact. But the point is that, the point is that they're willing to destroy a city if police or an individual that they feel wrongfully killed someone isn't indicted and arrested. So that put an enormous amount of pressure on the New York DA, Alvin Bragg, by the way, that fucking L.
Stupid.
The guy that tried to go on a crusade after Trump, to go ahead and get an indictment against this individual. And they did. But this is a year before again. So we'll keep playing this news clip just to kind of bring you guys back and refresh your memories.
Authorities say 30-year-old Jordan Neely was acting erratically, and some witnesses reported he threatened passengers on the Manhattan F train when the 24-year-old veteran stepped in. Other passengers seen holding Neely's arms. He was later pronounced dead at the hospital. New York Governor Kathy Hochul calling the case horrific.
Oh, yeah, of course she's going to call it horrific because she doesn't want to come off as, she doesn't want her city burned down.
Individual who took the situation into his own hands. Just looking at that video, you know it's wrong. No one has the right to take the life of another person.
But Mayor Eric Adams urging the public to trust the process.
But we need to be extremely clear.
FYI, this was before he got indicted by the FBI.
That from day one of this
for taking money from the Turkish niggas.
Administration, I focused on we cannot have people with severe emotional illnesses on our subway system.
Neely seen here on a subway train just days earlier. Known for his performances as a Michael Jackson impersonator, Neely had been arrested more than 40 times, including for assault. Overnight, Neely's family...
Yeah, he like punched some old lady and like fucking fucked her nose up.
...retaining an attorney, saying in a statement, Mr. Neely suffered from mental illness, which began at age 14 when he experienced the brutal murder of his mother.
There is no reasonable belief that he had a weapon, that he had the ability to use anything to harm anyone, and he was significantly outnumbered. So there's really no basis at all.
Okay, look, okay, I gotta talk about this. So a lot of these like BLM lawyers, right, or these people, these activists, they'll say this stupid ass term of they didn't have a weapon. They didn't have a weapon, right? Like the fucking stupid people that they are. You don't need a deadly weapon, right, for someone to use deadly force against you. If that person reasonably feels as though they can get seriously injured or killed, which, by the way, your two fists can absolutely kill somebody, right? They can use deadly force. If we look at the Trayvon Martin case, right, with Zimmerman walked. Why did he walk? he walked because Trayvon was beating him up and slamming his head into the ground, right? Trayvon didn't have a weapon, but Zimmerman shot him and walked because, number one, he's in Florida, which has no duty to retreat, right? AKA stand your ground type state. And then number two, he was defending himself. So this whole concept of, oh, like they didn't have a weapon, blah, 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 that's irrelevant. And the other thing too you gotta remember is, what did the individual know at the time that deadly force was used? There's a famous case, I forget the exact one, it might have been in Maryland or one of these states, where the police were dealing with something, and an individual pulled out a gun, but it was like a BB gun or a toy gun. And obviously the cops are gonna be like, let me go in and inspect this weapon and make sure that this it's a BB gun and not necessarily a pistol. No, they just shot the nigga, right? But like, boom, like dead, right? But they found out after the fact that the gun wasn't real, or it was a BB gun or something like that. But guess what? The shoot was clean. Why was the shoot clean? Because you're not judged on 20/20 hindsight when you use force. You're judged on what were the facts present to you at the time when you use the deadly force. If it was reasonable, then a lot of the times you're gonna walk, right? But these BLM idiots don't understand the use of force continuum in the United States and how it works, okay? It's not based on 20/20 hindsight. That's extremely important because you have these idiots coming in, right? Fucking Monday morning quarterbacking it, thinking like, oh, well, I would have done it in that situation. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. You don't know shit. You don't understand shit. A lot of the times you've probably never been in a confrontation where your life is on the line. When you have adrenaline fucking pumping through you, the courts knew this, okay? That's why it's based on what would a reasonable person do given that same circumstance and set of facts, okay? So this is why a lot of the times when police walk, people can't understand it because you're not going off of 20/20 hindsight, buddy. You're going off of what are the facts known to you at the time. That's extremely important. So this whole concept of they were unarmed or they didn't have a deadly weapon, that's irrelevant. What was presented at the time when the use of force happened?
For what transpired.
The incident dividing New Yorkers and highlighting deep concerns about subway safety.
I feel like resources are the solution to it. Community connection.
Not safe at all. I mean, unfortunately, like, we're not allowed to carry things, but I wish we were able to, like,
I'm still trying to figure out why this woman isn't in the kitchen.
do pepper spray or something.
Why are you even on a train? I didn't realize that there was a fucking kitchen area in the train.
Now, despite some high-profile incidents, overall major crime on the transit system here in New York City is actually down slightly from last year. Both the mayor and governor have deployed mental health resources to the subways, but many insist more needs to be done. George.
Okay. And then obviously he was arrested shortly after that, guys, and charged with I think manslaughter, right? So here's this footage that that I think this like Dominican chick that was on the train showed, and the jury showed this video. It was the first time they had seen it.
They put Jordan Neely in a deadly chokehold on a subway train last year. This is Penny leaving court here just a short time ago after day two of his manslaughter trial. News 4's Gus Rosendale is live in Lower Manhattan with what else happened in court today. Gus?
Well, Gilman, the jurors were shown two pieces of video shot by two witnesses who testified today. In both pieces of video, you could see Daniel Penny holding Jordan Neely down on the floor. The question for the jury is what they saw today a crime. Now a 19-year-old high school senior, Yvette Rosario,
19 years old. You know she got left back.
recorded this video testifying that Jordan Neely pried open a closing subway door and then started yelling. Rosario said, "I was very nervous and I thought I was going to pass out because I was so nervous," adding she was frightened by Neely's tone when he said he didn't care about going back to jail. An unknown voice is heard yelling in the background of the video, shown in court for the first time this morning. The voice yells, "He's dying. You gotta let go." The new video shot by the student shows Daniel Penny holding Jordan Neely in a chokehold on an F train at the Broadway Lafayette platform in May 2023. The Marine veteran faces up to 15 years in prison if convicted of involuntary manslaughter. Video from
Now, guys, the difference between manslaughter and like murder one is typically like, so murder one, right? Like your boy Luigi, that nigga, oh Lord, man. Mamma mia! That's gonna be a murder one all day, okay? That's gonna be a murder one all fucking day. Now, a manslaughter typically, guys, is considered like where you didn't intend to kill the individual, just kind of just happened, like a DUI, something like this. Still carries quite a bit of time, but it's not the same as premeditated murder, which almost always falls under murder first degree. So very, very important to distinguish it, right? So when we cover the Luigi Mangione case, which is going to be after this, by the way, on Fed Reacts, we're gonna go into that a bit more.
A second witness also shown to the jury today, cell phone images that also show Penny holding Neely in a chokehold for minutes after passengers had exited the train. Juan Alberto Vasquez, who's a freelance reporter, said of Neely, almost immediately he began to give a speech complaining he's thirsty and hungry and didn't care if he was thrown in jail again. Asked why he recorded the encounter, that was a violent act on the subway and felt it should be recorded. And late today, a third witness testified that he did not feel that Neely was a threat, and that was...
Okay, so this was the trial, and then obviously he got acquitted, right? So this is the this video here. And by the way, for you guys that are in the space, I'm doing this stream live on video as well. So if you guys want to see the video that I'm doing, feel free to do it. If you guys prefer to just listen in, that's cool as well. I will open it up for some of you ninjas to comment after I go through the stream here. And obviously I'll open it up for the haters. I know they got a lot to say and probably gonna cry. So yeah.
It is, Bianca. We're right next to a group of pro-Jordan Neely protesters who've been here throughout the morning.
Okay, guys, you can hear their voices. I wonder what they look like. Any idea what they look like, guys? What do you guys think?
They were actually part of the group that the defense had argued was disrupting the jury. What we can tell you, though, now is that Daniel Penny has been found not guilty of criminally negligent homicide. That was the second count. Remember, the first count, the jury could not come to a conclusive decision on a unanimous decision. But this one, they were unanimous, not guilty. The jury deliberating for more than 24 hours across 5 days before finally reaching this verdict. Daniel Penny found not guilty on all counts. On Friday, the judge overseeing dismissed the more severe charge of second-degree manslaughter, which carried a 15-year maximum sentence after the jury was unable to reach that unanimous verdict on that count. Now, a jury of 12 New Yorkers been locked down in that courtroom.
And also, guys, I think some key things for him on this case that saved him, right, were a couple things. Number one, this guy, Neely, had sickle cell, if I'm not mistaken, right? And he had some other health issues. On top of that, when the emergency personnel arrived on scene, he was still alive. He died later. That's big for the defense because now they can argue, well, technically, my client didn't kill him because when you guys arrived on scene, he was still alive, right? So, though that's debatable and arguable, remember, guys, they got to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he is the person that, in fact, killed him, right? So that was huge for the defense that he was still alive technically when the emergency services got there. Huge for him, right? And then these pre-existing conditions as well, because now you bring in, you're able to bring in doubt, right? So, guys, you got to remember, right? When you get prosecuted in the United States, right, it's not really on the defense to win. It's on the prosecution to lose. Does that make sense? I'm gonna say that one more time for y'all ninjas, okay? When you get prosecuted, right, and I've done this at the federal level and I've seen it done at the state level too, right? The state typically isn't as good as the feds. It is what it is. I'm not just being biased here, but the feds have like a 90% plus conviction rate, and that's for a fucking reason. That's by design. But the point is, in the United States, a lot of the times, right, because we have some semblance of due process compared to other countries, when you are being prosecuted, right, and you're the defendant and the government is the plaintiff, right, coming at you, right, it's not really on the defense to win. It's more on the government to lose. So your defense's job, right, or your defense counsel, right, and hopefully you're not representing yourself, not be a dummy like Ted Bundy, and next thing you know, you're going to be in jail forever, bro. That's an L. But assuming you have counsel, their job is to create a little bit of doubt, okay, that you are not the person that's responsible for whatever this crime is. So if the defense can show, hey, look, man, there's a little bit of reasonable doubt here. My client didn't kill him because technically when they got on scene, he was still alive, right? You guys can see here that they're working on him, right? You can see the emergency personnel here working on him, right? Because if he was dead, they're not touching the body, right? They're calling the coroner, they're calling homicide detectives, they're showing up. But the fact that they went ahead and worked on him and were trying to resuscitate him means he technically was still alive. So, did Penny kill him? That's up for the jury to decide, right? And that's where that's up for the jury to decide, and that's where the doubt comes in, right? That's the defense's job. This dumbass nigga owes and peck mine. That's a silly argument. Shut the fuck up, nigga. That's why you're in the chat talking shit. You know what you're talking about. There's a reason why he walked, dummy. People, man, why are people so low IQ? Holy shit, man. So yeah, the fact that they're even working on him right now, right, guys, means he's still alive.
Like we said, for 5 days, it was 24 hours of deliberations trying to get to that first count. Once the judge dismissed that first count, they went to the second count. And that's when they finally got this decision where he was found not guilty of criminally negligent homicide. And that was shortly after they started deliberating this morning. They came in just after 10 a.m. this morning. They were inside for a little over an hour. There was some back and forth between the defense and the judge. When the defense came out, they came up to the judge and said, there's been protesters. And with so many windows open in the courtroom, we're told from our reporter, Michelle Ross, who's been inside, that there are so many windows open in that courtroom because of how hot it is in that building, that they could hear the protesters potentially from down in the street. The judge argued, well, there was protests on both sides.
And y'all can hear them protesting in the back going fucking crazy, man. That's all I hear.
You had Jordan Neely protesters and you had Daniel Penny protesters. So both of them have been at each other. The defense was arguing that the Neely protesters were louder and the jury could potentially hear that. And that's why they would need to possibly switch rooms. That didn't get to that point because the jury found him not guilty of criminally negligent homicide. You know, at the request of prosecutors on Friday, the judge dismissed that second-degree manslaughter count. That was the big one. That carried a maximum of 15 years. This second count carried 4 years. There was no minimum in either of these counts. This directed the jury to turn to that lesser charge. What that means is now you're free to consider count 2. Now, whether or not that makes any difference or not, we'll see. But what we're going to do is wait for Michelle Ross because she's coming here. Prosecutors allege that Penny killed Neely. We'll go back to what this case is. A 30-year-old...
And again, they had an enormous amount of pressure on them to bring this case forward in the first place, guys. Because remember, they didn't arrest Penny on the scene. They went and got an arrest warrant for him later on. And I guarantee you that came from a lot of social pressure from the BLM groups, etc., you know, threatening to riot and all this other shit.
Homeless man who had previously been a Michael Jackson.
Just assume it this way, guys. In the United States, probably for the foreseeable future, if a white person kills a black person, that person's gonna get indicted almost every single time. Just be ready for it. That's where we are in America now. That's where we are. And if a cop kills a black person, they're gonna get indicted every single time. Just get ready for it.
An impersonator when he placed him in a 6-minute-long chokehold on a subway car last year, including for 51 seconds after his body went limp. Now, Assistant District Attorney have argued that Penny knew his actions could kill Neely, but continued to hold him in a chokehold for what they said was way too long, and they did not recognize his humanity. The medical examiner concluded that the chokehold did kill Neely. The defense arguing that Neely died from a genetic condition, they say, and that the synthetic marijuana found in his system...
There we go. Synthetic marijuana, and then the genetic condition that they're referring to, I'm almost certain it's sickle cell, which, for those that are unaware, sickle cell is a disease that's almost exclusively found in black people. And I think it breaks down your immune system. Let me double check here. Sickle cell. It's what killed, if I'm not mistaken, it killed Prodigy, one half of Mobb Deep. Sickle cell is a group of inherited blood disorders that cause red blood cells to become misshapen in sickle shape, which can lead to serious health complications. Symptoms include painful episodes called crisis, fatigue, paleness, rapid heart rate, shortness of breath, and yellowing of the eyes and skin. So, it's particularly common in people with African or Caribbean family background. Yep, people with sickle cell disease produce unusually shaped red blood cells that can cause problems because they do not live as long as healthy red blood cells and can block blood vessels. Okay. So basically it weakens you. All right. So that's what I think they were making the argument that that's what fucked them up.
The jury saying they did not believe that. The defense attorney telling jurors that Penny acted to save subway passengers from a violent and desperate, that's a quote here, Neely, who was acting erratically and, quote, scared the living daylights out of everybody. But they were arguing that Neely was fighting back, and Penny continued to hold on because he feared he could break free, but he did not intend to kill Neely. We're waiting now for Michelle Ross to come out. The reporters are being forced to leave the courtroom. Right now we have a bunch of protesters who are yelling at us, pro-Neely protesters, as we report to you this afternoon.
You know what's funny about these protesters that are like, you know, crying and complaining, all this? Where were y'all niggas when he was homeless? Why didn't you guys give him money? Why didn't you guys support? Like, it's funny that they come out now and all this other bullshit. But where the fuck were y'all niggas before, bro? Where were you guys at? Oh, I know where. Yeah, in the fucking exhibit section of the zoo. All right, so let's keep going here.
Telling us to report something different than what was said inside that courtroom today. We're going to send it back to you, Bianca.
You can tell that nigga's mad uncomfortable. He's like, bruh, get me out of here. Okay, so I got another video here, which this nicely encompasses everything. I'm gonna put this thing on a little bit faster speed, get through this thing, and give some commentary on it while I am. Again, for those of you that are watching on the space, feel free to watch the video version so that you guys can see me actually talk and see the video. If not, you can go ahead and listen in on audio like you guys are doing right now.
Chokehold death of Jordan Neely. Let's go to our partners, CBS News, New York.
I got this playing at 1.25 speed. If you guys want me to bring it up to 1.5, let me know in the chat.
For this breaking news.
Good afternoon. I'm Jessica Moore. We interrupt programming with breaking news. A verdict is in the Daniel Penny trial. Penny has been found not guilty of criminally negligent homicide. Penny is the Marine veteran accused in the chokehold death of Jordan Neely on board a subway train last year. Over the last 8 weeks, jurors heard testimony from more than 40 witnesses, including subway passengers aboard the F train, police who responded, a Marine Corps instructor who taught Daniel Penny chokehold techniques, and Penny's relatives and friends. Penny himself did not testify during the trial. His attorney said—
Yeah, that would be foolish to testify. Never take the stand when you're the defendant in a criminal case, guys. The only time I've ever seen it really happen is in self-defense cases, which in this case, you can make the argument that he was protecting others. But yeah, I mean, in general, it's not a good idea to take the stand.
Say Penny was trying to protect other riders while Jordan Neely was making threats and acting erratically on the train. Prosecutors say Penny intended to protect riders but used too much force, gripping Neely's neck for nearly 6 minutes, which prosecutors say was past the point of him posing a threat. The chokehold death, as you remember, sparked protests last spring and debate over how the city responds to mental health emergencies. The two charges originally in this case were manslaughter in the second degree and criminally negligent homicide. You might remember on Friday, the jury came back deadlocked twice. Prosecutors then moved to drop the top charge of manslaughter. Here's a look at that verdict sheet. After dismissing the superseding charge, jurors had to decide if the prosecution proved beyond a reasonable doubt that Penny caused the death of Neely.
Also, they made a play. They tried to do this on the weekend. Like, this is a trick that a lot of prosecutors do, guys, because the last thing a jury wants to do is deliberate into the weekend and onto Monday. So that's another trick that they tried.
Neely did so with criminal negligence and was not justified in his actions. Jurors were allowed to take Penny's character into consideration when they weighed that character against all the other evidence. The jury in this trial is anonymous, made up of 12 people from Manhattan, a diverse group, 7 women and 5 men. We're going to take you live now to the courthouse in Lower Manhattan. Tim McNicholas is standing by. He was there when the verdict was read outside. Alice Gaynor is inside the courtroom. Tim, we heard reports earlier of protesters outside. What's the mood there outside the courthouse now that the verdict has been read?
You know, Jessica, just about 10 minutes ago, NYPD actually used barricades to divide 2 groups of protesters behind me. I'm not sure if you can see these officers back here, but there are 2 groups of protesters. There's a group that is supporting Daniel Penny. They had megaphones and signs in support of Penny. And there's also a group that wanted to see Penny convicted. Those people were actually chanting earlier today, and that came up in today's proceedings in the courtroom. Penny's defense team expressed concern.
I got it 1.5 speed right now, guys. Let me know if that's good.
That group was maybe chanting so loud that the jury could hear them, and the judge actually expressed the idea that maybe he could move the jury to another room because of that. But right now, there are some protesters chanting. You can hear them right now behind me. They've been out here all morning. They've been saying things such as no justice, no peace, and they want justice for Jordan Neely, Jessica.
Yeah, that's what they always say. Why don't they go to O Block and say no justice, no peace? Right? Why don't they go to fucking Harlem and say no justice, no peace? Why don't they go to fucking St. Louis and say no justice, no peace? Why don't they go to fucking Flint, Michigan and say no justice, no peace? Why is it always no justice, no peace when it's some shit like this where it's like interracial? But they never go ahead and talk about, oh yeah, like, you know, I think most of the majority of our crimes, because the reality, guys, is when it's interracial crime like this of a white person killing a black person, this is like a minority, you know? It's a minority. But, you know, but they're going to go ahead and call me an Uncle Tom for that one.
A little bit removed from the very front of the courthouse, as the NYPD often does with us reporters. But can you hear them still actively chanting right now, or does it seem to have died down?
I can hear them right now, for sure. I just heard a little bit ago, no justice, no peace, a few minutes ago, so it's definitely continuing. As you mentioned, Alice Gaynor is in the courtroom right now. She said that when that verdict was read, there was applause in the courtroom, and she also heard people asking for quiet after that applause.
McNicholas, thank you again. Daniel Penny found not guilty of criminally negligent homicide. Alice Gaynor is still inside the courtroom. She'll be joining Tim whenever she is allowed to leave. Here to further break down the verdict is legal expert Mayo Bartlett. He's a practicing attorney, former DA for Westchester County, and was also an active member of the state's hate crimes coalition. Mayo, thank you for the time. I have to get right to it. What's your reaction to this verdict? When the jury came back deadlocked on manslaughter Friday, that seemed to suggest at least one juror might have been leaning guilty. Are you surprised at all by this not guilty verdict?
Well, I think that for the reasons you stated, yes, I am, because if you're deadlocked on manslaughter, which is the more difficult charge, then it would lead you to believe that at least one or more of the jurors could be leaning toward a conviction of criminally negligent homicide. One of the issues is also that sometimes jurors are given a particular time frame for a trial, and as the case goes on, it becomes a little less likely that they will maintain their position and that they generally will go toward the position of some of the stronger advocates in the jury. That being said, these are not the easiest charges for someone to reach a unanimous verdict on. And when you look at the fact that you're going to consider the conduct of Mr. Penny, along with his history, along with his training, and the suggestion that Mr. Neely was threatening to people, that all can make it more difficult for a jury to reach a decision.
If you don't mind, for our viewers, just to sort of break it down in simple terms, the difference between those two charges, the manslaughter in the second degree versus criminally negligent homicide. We know wasn't one the maximum prison sentence 15 years. Now this one would have been 4 years had he been found guilty. So a big disparity there. But what's the difference in what prosecutors had to prove between those two charges?
Well, it's looking at the mindset of Mr. Penny. And so for the manslaughter, you would have had to have basically shown that he was reckless, that he really knew or should have known that his conduct was going to cause serious injury or, in fact, the death of...
And that's why they brought in his, like, that's crazy that they brought in, like, people from the Marines to talk about his training and experience. But that obviously plays a role here because of his military background.
Mr. Neely. For the other, it shows that he's negligent, but again, it goes beyond mere negligence for like a car accident or something in a civil arena. And you'd be looking at negligence that rose to such a level that a reasonable person would have known better than to engage in that conduct. So the question really now for a jury in particular is, did holding Mr. Neely in that chokehold for that length of time, which sounds like not a lot of time to us, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, we can debate that, even 2 or 3 minutes, but ultimately really is a long time if you actually stop your clock and listen and wait during a period of 3 or 4 minutes, whether that was unreasonable and whether that was likely to cause his death.
Right.
And that's the issue.
Okay. Speaking in a more broad sense, this case really sparked a lot of racial tension across the city.
Yeah, no shit. Just like every other case where a minority is killed by a Caucasian person.
Jurors were 12 Manhattanites. They were told not to watch news coverage. We have to assume that they follow the judge's instructions, but they've lived through the aftermath. Most of them probably took the subway. How much do you think that played a role in their decision making?
I think, unfortunately, you hit a really great point that we cannot really divorce ourselves from our lived lives. And so when people are on you go onto a subway and you see what happens on the subway, it's really difficult to ask a juror to not consider any of those things. And
well, hold on. But that's important, though, because why do you guys think, when I started off this stream, what's the first thing that I did? I explained to you guys what the subway is like in New York City. Obviously, someone like me, I grew up in the Northeast. I'm very familiar with New York City. Unfortunately, I think it's one of the worst cities in America. However, I've been on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of fucking trains all across the city, so I'm very familiar with that. And it's a very unique experience because public transportation in New York City, guys, is not like other major cities. When you're in other major cities, right? The only other cities really that I could think of in my head that like everyone takes a train and it's not that big of a deal because it's actually a good system is like New York and Boston. Right? There might be other major cities, but in the Northeast, those are good ones that you would take. I think DC has a pretty good metro as well. But in general, public transportation is something that you don't take unless you're poor, okay? But in New York City, it's one of the few places where you're going to often run into people of all different socioeconomic classes that take the train. You're going to have multimillionaires on there. You're going to have homeless people on there. You're going to have people that make $100,000 on there, people that make $10,000 a year on there. Literally every group and every class of people takes the subway in New York City. It's a very unique city in that regard, where people that make a lot of money are constantly rubbing elbows with people that don't make a lot of money. And the public transportation system is one of the conduits for that, because everyone takes public transportation in New York City. Very few people actually drive. It's actually counterproductive to drive and a waste of time. It's faster to take the subway or walk or take a cab or Uber, if that. But a lot of people take the subway. So why is that important? That's important because if you take, right, and all my New Yorkers in here, you guys know what I'm talking about. All you guys that live in New York City, you guys know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. You are going to run into weirdos on the train all the time. It's just going to happen, whether it's homeless people pissing on the train, shitting on the train, people smashing on the train, people doing drugs on the train, people doing, dancing on the train. I gave you guys the example earlier with the fucking Ginyu Force walking in, niggas coming in and start dancing and going crazy. And then they say, hey, yo, yeah. And then, they start beatboxing and shit like that. And then they put it in the fucking 1985 boombox. Niggas are breakdancing and shit. And you're just trying to get to fucking Dunkin' Donuts before you start a shift at work. And you know what I'm saying? And then they're telling you, hey, give a tip. Like, it's a whole other, you know what? Hold on. Let me, I got a video for y'all niggas, man. This is an oldie, but this one is, this shit is funny. Okay. NYC subway. Damn. What's the dude's name, man? He's funny as hell. NYC subway. Let me see here. It's a funny ass video, bro. Shit had me dead. Here, I'll keep playing this news shit while I find it for y'all on the side. I reacted to it before. But, all right, let me see here.
York City.
Oh, my bad.
Really, you're asking them to look only at the specifics of this case. I think it's unfortunate that it becomes a racially tinged case. I think part of it was the delay in arresting Mr. Penny in the first place and the way that the police handled his interviews in the beginning. Right. And I think that sometimes it may even be done properly, but the impression that the public gets may be something other than that. And I think that I just would caution that without having all of the details, it's very difficult for us to sit in the role of a juror. So we get a chance to see what this rate.
And that was CBS News New York covering the breaking news out of there. Daniel Penny found not guilty for criminally negligent homicide. Here's the press conference with the victim in this, Jordan Neely's family. Let's take a listen.
Responsibility to give it to him.
Oh, this is funny. Okay, we're gonna get some of these BLM people here crying. This is gonna be amazing. This is gonna be delicious. I hope y'all ready.
If we see someone cold, to give them a coat. If we see someone going through something, to ask them if they're okay. That's how we help each other, because we can't rely on the system to do it for us. And clearly, if we get to this point, it's too late. We have to be there for each other, and that's our call to action. Everybody that's pissed off at this verdict, I challenge you to go outside today and help one person. That's my challenge. If you're angry, if you're hurt, go help one person. That's how we beat the system. That's how we turn this around, by being there for each other.
I just want to say,
okay, this guy right here, this is Jordan Neely's dad. Bro, this nigga was nowhere to be found, chat. Nowhere to be found his whole life. Absent father. Then as soon as Jordan Neely is absent from life, this nigga wants to come into his life. Too late, nigga. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, could you imagine if this dude had, like, just been a dad? We probably wouldn't be even having this conversation.
I miss my son. My son didn't have to go through this.
Oh, I miss my son. Yeah, you miss him now? The fuck, man? He's just here to get a paycheck. And he actually sued Daniel Penny too, guys.
I didn't have to go through this either. It hurts. Really, really hurts. What are we gonna do, people? What's gonna happen to us now? I had enough of this. The system is rigged. Come on, people. Let's do something about this.
Let's do something about it. Too often, we have Eric Garner's mother here. There's too often.
Oh shit! They brought the Garner mom now too.
This is
oh
happening,
shit!
Where we're left alone in this society. We got to stop that. We have to change how we impact each other. Jordan came on that subway car. The first thing he asked for was food, and he was killed. And the person who killed him was not held responsible. We cannot allow this to keep happening. Come on. Okay. Oh. Look like the police are attacking protesters.
Good morning, everyone. Here we stand once again in
All right, I don't know who this woman is, but she's part of the BLM people too.
front of this unjust system. I stood here 10 years ago because they did not give justice to my son with a chokehold.
Okay, this is Garner's mom. Okay.
I fought hard to get the anti-chokehold bill passed, which did pass. But it shouldn't only be for police
Which here we'll keep.
officers, it should be for civilians also. No one deserves to be choked to death. And you know, we're in that courtroom and people are cheering for the verdict. They made the loudest noise.
For those of you that are unaware, this is Eric Garner. This was also a very famous case from way back 10 years ago now. God damn. Just to remind you guys, I think he was illegally selling cigarettes.
Good evening. For the second time in as many weeks, a grand jury has...
He was illegally selling cigarettes outside of a shop. And
a man named Eric Garner being taken down by mostly plainclothes police officers while being placed under arrest. One of the officers employed a chokehold. Moments later, while on the ground after complaining he couldn't breathe, he was dead. Well, tonight, while so far peaceful, there are protesters in the streets of New York City, some of them, as you see, within about a block of the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree, which gets...
was dead. The medical examiner ruled it a homicide, caused in part by neck compression or what the report calls a chokehold. The New York City Police Department banned officers from using chokeholds in 1993. The grand jury was made up of 23 community members, 14 white, 9 non-white. They met for 8 weeks and decided today there was not enough evidence to indict the officers with a crime. In a statement, the officer accused of applying the chokehold, Daniel Pantaleo, writes, "I became a police officer to help people and to protect those who can't protect themselves. It is never my intention to harm anyone, and I feel very bad about the death of Mr. Garner." Eric Garner's wife and mother spoke with NBC News.
The time for condolence would have been when my husband was gasping for air, asking them to let him breathe.
Tonight, protests against the decision have already begun. Garner's daughter...
So the whole I can't breathe thing, guys, this is where it originally started from. So now you guys kind of understand the background. This was a big case, I remember 10 years ago.
Arranged a demonstration at Grand Central. Now the New York police are braced for even more, while Mayor Bill de Blasio says this is a time for change.
It's a very emotional day for our city. It's a very...
Look at the people surrounding him. Of course this nigga gotta say this shit. Oh, man.
Painful day for so many New Yorkers.
And then bam, there you go. 10 years ago, Black Lives Matter. And now we got the fucking clown world that we have now.
You what?
So that was a big case that pushed this shit. And here's the mom later.
The judge did nothing.
Going back to the video with the pennies thing.
But when his father spoke out, they put him out the courtroom. Is that justice? Or what? We can't allow this to keep going on. We have to fight this system. That's what I had to do. I had to fight to get the little justice that I got. I got one police officer fired. There's more that need to be fired. But I tell this family, do not give up. Because that's what they want you to do. They want you
You know, if he had just cooperated with the police and did an arrest, they wouldn't have had to do that. Anyone ever think of that? But no, like that. No, it's never like. You know, I was watching a video earlier today, and Charleston White was saying, you know, the police don't shoot a black dude when they're in a suit or on their way to work or, you know, doing something productive. It always ends up when some bullshit is going on, right? And a lot of the times, whether it's this guy, Garner, that was, you know, committing a crime, or Fentanyl Floyd committing a crime, right? Or this dude Neely committing a crime. Like, when this shit happens, almost always occurs while criminal activity is afoot, right? Now, while it's tragic that people lose their lives, I think it's also important that we understand that if you're going to commit a crime, right, it's possible, highly possible, that you might get into a use of force situation that can be very deadly, right? Or very dangerous, if not deadly or fatal. And I think these people, right, though I don't think that, we should be killing criminals, I do think that criminals need to bear some responsibility and understand that that's a very feasible outcome, that if you're going to go ahead and resist the police, or you're going to commit a crime and then resist the police while they're telling you lawful commands, dude, like, you're basically putting your fate into their hands and their use of force, right? In a very highly charged, aggressive, sometimes life or death environment where police officers are trained, you go home. And I don't think people understand that. When I went to the academy, the number one thing that they taught us, guys, the number one thing they taught us when it came to use of force was, you're going to win the fight and you're going to go home. They indoctrinate that into your fucking head every single day. Every use of force situation, every single encounter, they give you all these different scenarios. Every single one. Win the fight, go home at the end of the day. That is what they teach them. Okay? So when you get into a situation with a law enforcement officer, right, and you are not complying with what they tell you, right, what you're basically inviting is for that officer to get into the mindset of, I'm going to go home today. And if that means that you don't, it doesn't matter, right? And this is the dark side that no one will tell you guys. I'm telling you guys how they're trained. Every law enforcement officer in the United States, I don't care if you're FBI, DEA, ATF, local police, state police, municipal, city, I don't care what you are, constable, every single person that has a badge and a gun and has some type of arrest authority in the United States is always taught, you're going to go home at the end of the day. So I need the criminals and the idiots out there that think that it's okay to resist the police to understand that if you put them in that situation and it's you versus them, you're going to lose most of the time. And not only are you going to lose, they have the law on their side, they have numbers on their side, they have the authority on their side. So you want to be a fucking tough guy and run, fist fight, get in a situation, it could fuck you up, man. It can really, really fuck you up. Now, look, you don't have to go listen to what I'm telling you, but I think this is kind of a wake-up call for people to understand that if you're going to commit a crime and the police encounter you, bro, just fucking take the L and put their hands behind the back, man. Every single time, it's people resisting the police, and then we end up in this situation where someone gets killed, right? Or in this case, it was a private citizen, but this dude was causing a ruckus on the train.
Discourage you, just like they tried to discourage me. But 10 years later, I'm still fighting. And I'm not only fighting for myself, I'm fighting for families like yourself. That's why I have to come out when this injustice is done. If this had been the other way, if it had been the other way and Jordan Neely had killed Daniel Penny, a black guy killed a white guy, no one would care, actually. There would be no White Lives Matter protests. No one would give a shit. Okay, no one would care. This would not even have hit the news. Yeah, nice try, old lady. Your family had murdered this so-called innocent guy now, it would have been a different story. He would have been in jail, it would have never came out. But they don't do the same to us. It's two justice systems. And we have to stop this. And the only way that we can stop it is to stand together. Those of us who are against what happened, we have to speak up. We can't treat this just like another news story, not another press conference. We have to speak.
Yes, you're correct. There are two justice systems, but it's not based off race. The O.J. Simpson case proved that one. It's based off of class. If you have the ability to pay for a good legal team, and you're not a dumbass, and you understand your rights, and you don't talk to the police, etc., you have a good chance of winning, right? But if you're poor, and you don't have resources, white or black, you're going to go to jail, bro, and it's going to be an L. It's not going to be fun for you, okay? Stupid. So, though there is you can make the argument that there's a two-tier justice system, that's fine. But it's absolutely not based on fucking race. Not anymore. Maybe 100 years, maybe 60, 70 years ago. But now, no. And the O.J. Simpson case proved that shit fucking all the way. If you have the resources, the money, the charm, and the status, you can beat a criminal case, and it's not going to be based on your race. It's going to be based on your class and your resources.
Speak up, and stand up. So I just say today, we did not get justice once again. And I am saddened. I am truly saddened by this situation because it keeps on happening and no one is standing accountable for their actions. So that means that any civilian could get on the train if they feel threatened and they could choke someone out and they're going to get found not guilty, just like today. This sets a precedent. And we can't let this happen. If the police can't do it, the civilians can't do it either. And I just want you to stand with this family. This family needs you right now. Right on.
Oh, you mean the family that abandoned him, that left him homeless in New York City and let him get arrested all those times, and the guy was complaining about food? Where the fuck was his family then? The mental illness? What was the family then? See, the issue here, right, is that, I'm just gonna, niggas don't get together and help out and support until shit like this happens. Where the fuck were you guys when the dude was fucking poor? Where the fuck were you guys when he was doing moonwalks on the fucking F train trying to figure out a way to get some fucking money and eat? Where the fuck were you guys when he got arrested all those times? Where the fuck was his dad? Where was his mom? See, this is the problem. These fucking ass clowns, right? These guys are what I call race hustlers, right? Whether it's these ass clowns at BLM or Tariq Nasheed or Umar Johnson, all these ass clowns, they're race baiters. They need to perpetuate this disparity, right, between whites and blacks, right, with this whole concept of white supremacy, to be able to substantiate their position that they're victims, right? And it's a powerful grift, because if you're constantly telling people that they're victims, they feel, wow, maybe I am a victim. Holy shit. Wow, you know what? The system is rigged. Why should I get a job? Why should I be an upstanding member of a community? Why should I go to school? Why should I start a business? It's all rigged. We came here on chains, but we was kangs, right? They indoctrinate them with this fucking dumbass mindset, okay? And then they say, look, you're impoverished. The white man is holding you down. With your donation of $109, you can help Black Lives Matter combat injustice. And then what does your dumb ass do? Oh, that sounds like a good idea. Sure. And then you go send that money, right? And then them niggas go and close a real estate deal and buy a big ass house. You know what BLM stands for now? Buying lavish mansions. That's what it stands for. Then you get dumbasses like Sir Major, right? Nigga gets indicted by the FBI for wire fraud, right? Stealing money, taking that money, buying guns, houses. He even goes and gets a hooker, right? This is one of the biggest FBAs, Tariq Nasheed's right-hand guy. FBA, what does that stand for? Frequently buying ass. That's what shit stands for, right? But that's the problem. These race grifters need to divide you, conquer you, take your money, and make you feel like the victim. We're going to fight for your rights. No, they're not. They're going to fight for the right deal for themselves so they can get that fucking mansion in LA somewhere, overlooking the hills. While your dumb ass is still in Compton, crying about fucking white supremacy, white supremacy. Did Dr. Umar ever open up that school? I don't think so. Tariq finally opened up that dumbass museum. Took him years, right? But they know that if they hit that pain point, right, of you're black and the white man's holding you down, white supremacy, or you're undercover white supremacist, whatever, they can garner the heartstrings and get the money from you. But these motherfuckers are nowhere ever to be found when blacks kill each other, when blacks sell drugs to each other. Never. They show up when you're dead, when it's too fucking late, right? No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. You motherfuckers never had the peace in the first place. So now the justice has to come in and give it to you guys by fucking force. Every single major city that has a crime problem is run by Democrats. They're blue cities. And guess what they also have an abundance of? Black fucking people. And if no one has the balls to fucking say it, I will. These FBAs can go ahead and crucify me and call me a fucking racist or whatever the fuck they want to say, but facts are facts, bro. Facts are fucking facts. I will not bite my tongue for nobody. Okay? People call me a racist, a bigot, an Uncle Tom, whatever the fuck they want to say, because I'm critical of everybody. But the numbers don't fucking lie. 6% of the population is committing a disproportionate amount of the violent crime in the United States. So, instead of blaming everyone else for the problems in the black community, I think people need to look inward and realize, like, they're the fucking problem. Because the reality is Daniel Penny isn't the real issue at the end of the day. The real issue is the fatherless households. The real issue is the degenerate music. The real issues is having children out of wedlock. The real issues are now having a family structure. The real issue is prioritizing drug use and being a gangster or drug trafficking. The real issue is telling people that they're corny or nerdy for speaking proper English. The real problem is the obesity. Average black woman's 187 pounds. What the fuck is going on here, man? You motherfuckers can't even control what you eat. If you can't even control what you eat, I can't imagine your inability to have discipline in other realms. Being educated and intelligent and speaking proper English gets you ridiculed in the black community. It's the only group of people that will literally make fun of you for being intelligent. Just keep it all the way. Myron, you ain't black. You talk like a white boy. Okay. Because I pronounce my words and enunciate properly and use words that aren't fucking stupid all the time. Because I don't speak Ebonics. That's where we are in America. But I'll tell you this. The FBAs can't refute my claims. All they could do is call me an Uncle Tom, or you ain't really black, or you're a tether, focus on Sudan, some other stupid shit like that. But they can't actually disprove any of the things that I say. Because the reality is the police kill white people way more than they kill black people. We're going to have this conversation. Way more. But nobody gives a fuck because they're white. Right? And they're committing a crime. So, anyway, we'll keep going on with the video. All right, here comes this fucking guy. This is the head of the BLM in New York City. Let's watch him cope. And we'll react to it.
Thank you. I'm sorry to Dre. I'm sorry to Chris. I'm sorry that America has failed you. You've come here, you've shown...
Does this jacket say Clux Busters? Yo.
Discipline, you've shown strength, you've shown love, you've shown how to carry yourself with composure when you're facing this machine, this American judicial system that cannibalizes our people. But I'm gonna tell you this, and I'm gonna...
Well, there's actually more white people imprisoned than black people. So if you're going to make that argument, it really cannibalizes anyone that doesn't have money or resources. It doesn't cannibalize you because you're black. It cannibalizes you if you can't get a proper defense or if you're a criminal. How about you just don't commit crimes?
Say it loud and clear. Let the marchers march and let the steppers step. Let the marchers march and let the steppers step. You want to do something about this verdict? Then you go into your neighborhood and you promote black unity. Black people, we are all we have. This...
Okay. Now, he's getting into the He's about to get into the black nationalism talking points, which is fine. Black unity, we're all we have, etc. But I want to freeze frame this little comment right here. Let's switch this around and go into a dream world. Could you imagine, right? We're in fucking Charlottesville, right? And a white dude got killed by a black dude, right? And then a bunch of white people get together, right? After the black dude gets caught, after he walks, and he says, hey, we need some white unity in here. White power. What do y'all think would happen? White people, we're all we got. What do you think would happen? What the fuck do you guys think would happen? Switch this all around. White person gets killed, black person walks, white people get together, White Lives Matter, WLM, right? And he says the same exact rhetoric that this motherfucker says. Matter of fact, it says BLM busters, right? How long you guys think that press conference will last? I'll tell you. 10 seconds. And then that shit again. As soon as that nigga says white power, cooked. Absolutely cooked. Done. Right? So, look, I don't have a problem with black nationalists. I don't have a problem with people saying black power, black unity, all this other shit. Cool. I'm all for it. I think people should be able to love themselves. But my issue is, if you're going to go ahead and do this and have this type of rhetoric, don't get mad if white people do it. White people should be able to assemble and say white power all day. If we're going to sit here and allow this shit, where these guys are coming in and saying black unity, all this other shit, cool. All right. I'm all for it. But you need to allow white people to be able to do it too. You need to allow Arabs to do it too. You need to let the Mexicans do it too. You need to let the fucking Chinese do it. The Japanese, the Asians, the Koreans. Everybody should be able to do it without being fucking attacked. But that's the problem. Only one group of people can do it. And that one group of people that does it, they cry the most about racism. Isn't that kind of fucking funny?
System protects every other group except for the very people that built this country. Say it.
I don't know if y'all built the country, but all right.
Every group that comes here gets privileges, gets benefits, except for the very people whose fingerprints are on the bricks that built this country. There is no love for black people. There is no love in the system. How can you make...
America has the most black millionaires of any other country.
A moral appeal to a people that have no moral code? How can you preach love to racists? That got Dr. King killed. How can you promote love to a nation that is built on theft and...
I mean, JFK got killed too.
...and genocide? That's right. What we preach is unity. Black unity. Stop begging this system to justify our lives. Stop begging this system for justice. When things happen to you, you step up and defend yourself. Just like everybody else seeks justice on their own, just like everybody else has vigilantes, we need some black vigilantes. Right.
Here we go, this nigga, bro. Yo, we need some black vigilantes. Okay, Batman.
People want to jump up and choke us and kill us for being loud? How about we do the same when they attempt to oppress us?
Bro, could you imagine if some white dudes were saying this type of shit? Could y'all imagine this? Yo. Or better yet, could you imagine if Muhammad and the crew were saying this shit?
Allahu Akbar!
Nigga, FBI will be there in 2 minutes.
FBI, open up!
Bruh. Yo, this dude is complaining about racism in a 2-tier justice system. Nigga, y'all are the only group of people that can say this shit. Bro, if Alibaba and the squad said half this shit, nigga, it would be a wrap.
FBI, open up!
If fucking Tom and the boys We need some white vigilantes.
FBI, open up!
Even some Chinese niggas. We need some white. We need some Chinese vigilantes.
FBI, open up!
Some Russians. We will take back with our vigilantes.
FBI, open up!
Bro, come on, man. The G's get together. Thank you, come again, and we will take back our grocery stores.
FBI, open up!
Nigga, we're all cooked. Like, bro, blacks are the only ones that can say this shit, man, and nothing happens. Yeah, the Chinese, the vigilante, we vigilante now. No justice, no peace. I'm serious, bro. Like, no other group of people can get away with this shit. This nigga's literally calling for violence. Nobody gives a fuck because they're black. This is actually black privilege, which y'all see right now. Like, what you guys are witnessing is literally black privilege. No other group of people could do this shit. FYI. They definitely can't. I'll tell y'all right now. Somebody look like me, right? Because the blacks want to call me black one day and then they don't want to call me other days, whatever. Nigga, if I said some shit like this,
FBI, open up!
it's over for me, bro. You know what I mean?
Allahu Akbar!
So, anyway.
I'm tired. I know y'all looking for us to be like, oh, go and march. Go and march. No. This weekend, I want you to hold a community event everywhere from the Bronx to Houston to Seattle to Florida. Black people hold community events and talk about what you need. And talk about how to fix
it. Somebody said a bunch of Mexicans gathered, they call immigration facts. Hey, Holmes, we're going to march the streets, eh? Hey, I say we're going to march the streets. They killed Jorge. We can't stand for that. Next thing you know, and them niggas have showed up with immigration. I'm telling you, bro, nobody can get away with this shit besides the blacks. Am I right or am I right? Come on, man. Everybody going to jail if they say some shit like this. Everybody going to jail, man.
your issues. If the black politicians come, don't let them in. If they come, do not let them come and take over your fight for justice. Why? Because out of all the black politicians who said something about this initially, none of them came to court. I'm sick of these people playing with our lives, our children's lives. Black people, if you're serious about yourselves, you'll take your education serious. You will open schools in your community. You will take your health serious and teach your people about health.
Yeah, teach them about health, but all y'all niggas are fat in the back. Come on, man. Look at it. This nigga teach them about your health. Nigga, what the fuck? You guys all just came from a KFC. Big buckets. And I'm not talking about basketball. Wash that shit down with some fucking Kool-Aid, purple.
You will take your self-defense serious, and you will defend yourselves in your communities. You want to take the information that's disseminated seriously, then you will start your own media outlets. Because if America knew that Daniel Penny lied to the judges 5 times, lied to the cops 5 times, if they knew that all the people jumped off the train who were afraid within 30 seconds, and Daniel Penny choked them for 5.5 minutes, if they knew the truth, everybody would be on the side of justice except for the racists. The people who are happy that Jordan Neely is dead. Unify yourselves. We will be putting out information on how to unify yourselves, but this ain't about us. This is.
No one is happy that Jordan Neely is dead, bro. Nobody's happy about that shit. People are simply indifferent because Jordan Neely made a lot of bad decisions throughout his life that put him in the situation that he's in, right? And the problem with a lot of these like activists and shit like that is they just want to go ahead and highlight the situation that got the individual killed. But they never want to talk about what led up to that. A series of bad decisions, right? A series of bad decisions in sequence over days, weeks, months, and then fucking years, right? So it's not that people are happy that he's dead, BLM. It's that people are indifferent. Because at the end of the day, This is a man that was born in the United States, spoke the English language, carries an American passport, and lives in the best country in the world when it comes to opportunity. Explain to me how someone that's born and raised here ends up becoming an objective failure, doing moonwalks on the F train, right? With fucking failing in life, homeless, saying he's hungry. Meanwhile, we got kids getting fucking blown up in Gaza that would kill for the opportunity to live in the United States and have some of the situations that we have. The problem is that there's no perspective, right? Like, these BLM people and these, these pro-black people, right? They'll sit there and say, oh, well, you an immigrant, you a tether, you come to our country, we built everything, huh? We picked the car in, we did all this other dumb shit, right? All I hear is, because it's a bunch of fucking excuses for why they're inadequate, right? The reason why immigrants come here and fucking lap a lot of these guys is because they understand the opportunity that they have and they don't want to fucking squander it, right? So it's not that people are happy that Jordan Neely's dead. I'm not. Nobody is. It's that people don't care because they see, kind of in the back of their mind, that if you're a loser in America, you're just a loser. You're destined to be a loser forever because you live in a land of opportunity. If you can't get ahead here, bro. This is why these BLM people are not taken seriously. Because all they do is make excuses. How about you not commit crime? How about you keep the father in the house? How about you stop having kids out of fucking wedlock? How about you stop selling drugs? How about you stop fucking promoting degenerative music? Right? But these are the hard conversations. I say shit like that. Oh, you're an Uncle Tom. You're a tether. You can't tell us about our community. You ain't one of us. All right, bro. That's why nobody wants to talk to y'all niggas.
It's about justice. So there'll be no more Eric Garners. So there'll be no more Jordan Neelys. So we will be a united front and a community. America will never save black people. Politicians will never save black people. Only black people will save black people. Hawk Newsom, H-A-W-K, N-E-W-S-O-M-E.
Yeah, if we're going to save the black people, we got to save them by telling them the truth, bro. We got to stop coddling them from their bad fucking behavior. All right? That's the issue, is that number one, they don't want to hear anything from nobody that isn't black like them. And then if someone is black like them, like me, they'll disqualify, say, nah, bro, you ain't really one of us, nigga. Even though you from a land of the blacks, you're not really black enough, so we ain't gonna listen to you. All right, cool.
Shavonna Newsom, CHIVONA-NEWSOME. I'm the co-founder of Black Lives Matter Greater New York.
Of course, here we go.
And I'm a devout Christian. And in my Bible, thou shalt not kill. In the Torah.
In my Bible?
Thou shalt not kill. In Buddhism, in Hinduism, thou shalt not kill a living thing. But America has no moral code. America has no soul. Our bloods have paved the streets of this nation since its inception. It was foolish of us to think that a black man would get justice in the system designed to keep him oppressed. My heart bleeds for the Neely family. My heart bleeds for his father, who sat in front of me every single day and prayed for justice for his son.
And if you are just joining us here on CBS News 24/7.
All right, so she actually did an interview, guys. So Danielle Penny did an interview, and then this BLM lady did an interview. Let's see the BLM lady. This is going to be entertainment.
He did. He deserves no blame from your perspective, right?
Did you hear the witness testimony?
I'm asking you a question.
Or are you cherry-picking the ones?
I'm asking you a question. Do you blame Jordan Neely at all for his conduct?
If Jordan Neely was a white man, we'd be saying it was an opioid crisis. He was hungry. He was mentally ill. He had a muffin in his pocket.
I wouldn't be if there were other. What about the witnesses? Let's play again, just so we're clear on the race.
I'm sure you won't play Eddie Gibson, who begged Daniel Neely to stop.
Oh, yeah, but he stayed there throughout the incident.
Play the ones that fit the narrative.
But what's the narrative? There's black women who were on the subway. It was mostly people of color on the subway.
What about a white man during cross-examination who said that he was afraid of Daniel Penny, the one who poured water onto his head and said that he was afraid? He was a white man.
Yeah, okay, so... And
what about the Latino man who was holding his arms?
I'm not the one identifying everyone by race. You are. You're the one who...
And that's what they do, chat. That's what they do. Bro, That's what they do. It's rage baiting via race every single time. Notice how every person she brings up, it's always by race. They need race. Everything needs to be based on race. And this is why, guys, I said this before, I'm going to say it again for some of you guys that might be new here. Look, BLM perpetuates racism more than some of the most extremist organizations. They perpetuate racism more than the Klan. They perpetuate racism more than white nationalists and white supremacist groups, right? And some of you, whoa, Myra, what are you talking about? You guys want to know why? They perpetuate racism more than these historic white supremacist groups? Because BLM is fucking mainstream. That's why. If you're a member of the Klan or a white nationalist group or a white supremacist group in the United States, be prepared to be banned off every social media platform, to have your bank accounts taken down, to be put on a fucking FBI watch list, to be put on the ADL's hit list, and to be canceled absolutely fucking everywhere. But if you're a member of BLM, be prepared to be platformed on mainstream media, to be allowed to speak at rallies, to be allowed to have a social media platform, to be allowed to run donation campaigns where they give you money, which is how they scammed all these people. So if one group effectively can't exist on the internet, but the other one can, who actually perpetuates racism more in the United States of America? I know it's a hot take, but I truly do believe that the BLM, Black Lives Matter, is more dangerous than the Ku Klux Klan and every other white supremacy group in the United States. Because they have the fucking ability, the platform, the reach, and the resources to push their propaganda out there, unlike these other groups. Now, with that said, if these other groups had the platform and the ability, would they be on par with the BLM? Of course. But we've done everything in our power to suppress these organizations. They're in fucking hiding. You can't even find them. I tried to go to a rally one time. I'm just kidding. But the point is, all jokes aside, big tech, mainstream media, social media, banks, left-wing organizations, they've totally disrupted and destroyed white supremacist groups. You can't find them. Can't find them. But BLM, they're all over the place. Why is it that people like Tariq Nasheed and Dr. Umar have YouTube channels, but someone like Nick Fuentes doesn't? Why does someone like Tariq Nasheed, who cries about white supremacy all day, why is he able to have a YouTube channel, but Patriot Front doesn't? I don't know. I mean, that's just an example. All the super pro-black creators have platforms, which I agree with. I think they should be able to say what they say. I will advocate for Tariq to have a platform forever. I will never hope on him to be banned. However, I just can't help but notice, right, that anyone that's pro-white is banned everywhere. Y'all catch up? Did you guys notice that? Richard Spencer, Nick Fuentes, Patriot Front, right? All these guys, banned everywhere. David Duke, banned. But all the pro-black guys, around. You can find them easy. They all got Instagrams, Facebooks, Twitters, YouTubes. So, I truly believe that BLM is more destructive towards the fight against racism than the white supremacist group, because BLM is allowed to exist on all the mainstream platforms with impunity. It's my take. Let me know if you guys agree in the comments.
Keeps telling. Why? Why do you have to? There was nothing in this case.
When you look at the FBI, when you look at when hate crimes happen, when you look at when injustice happen to black people,
but let's agree.
We don't get justice.
Let's agree to some. Look, I'm going to be doing a segment later this week on a missing black woman who has not been getting nearly enough attention.
Send it to me and I'll share the
by the media.
Absolutely.
Because I understand that, and to that degree, you have a fair point about the way sometimes the media and the justice system handles, but not in this case.
Hey, for you idiots in the chat that say Myron thinks he's white, no, I'm just calling out this discrepancy. Trust me, I've had my battles with pro-white people. Trust me, I've had my battles with them. Everybody hates me, guys, just so y'all know. Everybody fucking hates me. So, yeah. Oh, we got some angry FBAs in here. Shout out to all you niggas, man. You guys could be anywhere else in the world, but you guys are here watching me. So what does that make you? Stupid.
This case, even the prosecutors conceded Daniel Penny had every right to go hands-on, and the question became, okay, when should he have stopped? I understand that.
The time frame on that from the DA's office was after 30 seconds. Can you not concede that Daniel Penny was a trained killer? That he not have his gray belt? United States Marine Corps isn't an assassin?
Sure, but
he knew. Let me finish.
Every Marine is a trained
because
assassin.
actually, black Marines and white Marines have reached out and actually told us he went too far.
But going too far is different from criminal.
Let me break it down. A chokehold, a blood chokehold, which he did. You're only supposed to hold someone in that move for 8 to 13 seconds. You're not supposed to do it longer than 2 minutes. Why did Daniel Penny, when the...
What does this chick know about chokeholds, man? The fuck out of here, bro. This chick don't know nothing about chokeholds unless it's a chicken bone or some shit like that. This fat bitch don't know nothing.
Train was completely clear. Everyone was on the platform. Why did he hold it for nearly 6 minutes?
Because he was scared.
He was a Marine is scared of of someone he labeled as a crackhead.
Again, is it not possible?
Hey, man, that crack strength is crazy, though.
Possible that Daniel Penny, when he's doing this on the spot, stepping up to help people of many different races, moves in and doesn't have a clock with him to decide when he should stop and when he shouldn't, which is why, in the end, the jury acquitted, right?
No, actually, Daniel Penny was trained very well by the United States Marine Corps, and he knew what the signs were. He knew when Jordan's body was slacking. He knew that Jordan was going to die. Why didn't you show his face, Dan? You're a good man. Of when he laughed and when the first response, I'm critical of the police. We know this, right? NYPD tried to save his life while they were doing chest compressions. Daniel Penny laughed and said chest compression. A good person, a hero. One last thing. Why did he never ask about the well-being in that police department about Jordan Neely?
So
he was a hero.
You're asking a lot of questions that are sort of rhetorical questions, right? But the ultimate question is, why did the jury acquit? Is it because they're racist?
America is inherently biased.
So the jury...
I knew she was going to say that.
The jury is racist.
Have you seen the...
I'm asking you a question. No, don't change the subject. Is it because the jury is racist?
Yes.
Okay.
The jurors...
Even the black person on the jury.
Would you like to hear something from me? I believe that even black people can be anti-black. People are predeceived to see black people as a threat and as a victim because people called in. You heard the voice recordings when they called 911. Jordan Neely was in a chokehold for over 4 minutes, turning purple, which black people do in fact do that, and people still saw him as a harm. Even when his body went limp.
Here's the thing. Racism does exist. I'm not denying that racism exists. However, what I will not concede on is that racism is something that will hold you back from success in the United States in 2024. That's one thing I will not accept, right? I understand during the Jim Crow era, it was tough. I get it. Slavery was real. Cool. I understand that. Well, we know who owned the slaves. Well, I know who owned the slaves. We're on YouTube. I can't go too much further than that, but y'all know what I mean. So the thing is that people, the BLM thrives on making you think that it's still 1941 or some shit. Right? But the reality is that people, yes, people have biases. Yes, people have stereotypes. Yes, people have these things. But if someone meets you, right, and you're black, but you don't adhere to the stereotypes, you're well-spoken, you're dressed well, you're groomed properly, you're not an idiot, guess what? They're going to be like, oh, cool. Like, you're a regular person. Because you guys want to know something, too? That's very, very important that I want to really bring out here. When you start getting money, guys, and you're around wealthy, successful people, you know what they're not talking about? Race. That's something that I always found very, very fucking interesting. When you make money and you start becoming successful, right? Unless you're like one of these like stupid SJW motherfuckers in Hollywood. But in general, when you're around successful people, no one gives a fuck what your race is. No one gives a shit. This is a poor people talking point.
He was still viewed as a criminal.
Poor people and low IQ.
So I'm sorry if I'm going to defend the needy, if I'm going to defend the poor. Why does no one talk about when Jordan Neely came on asking for water and being thirsty? Why does no one talk about...
Because they're talking, because that's not what happened right here. What happened right here, the reason...
because he lives in New York and there's homeless shelters everywhere. But they've actually done studies on this, and they found that like homeless shelters don't fucking work because the homeless people do more drugs, fight each other, want to kill each other, and they have issues.
And he was held was not because he was asking for water. It's because he was scaring the heck out of everyone on the subway, which apparently he's done before.
Dan, anyone who has rode the New York City subway has encountered mentally ill people. Why are we not having this conversation? And we don't kill them.
But you know what?
We offer help or we get out of the way.
But more people wish people
them.
would step up more and help and stop people from doing it.
So are you giving a license to vigilantism? Are you saying that we should kill people? Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is, you know what I'm saying is it's very unfair.
I would have said, yeah, I am giving a pass to vigilantism, bitch. There's too many fucking criminals out here, and sometimes I might have to turn into Bruce Wayne on these motherfuckers, man.
Fortunate. I think Daniel Penny would say it is really unfortunate that he died.
Why didn't he care when he was at the
See, here's the thing. If you guys notice, right? Like, look, this white dude is talking to her. He's got to dance around shit. Nigga got to do the shimmy. Oh, shit. You doing the Harlem Shake? Because, see, when you talk to these people, you can't pull no punches, right? You can't pull no punches. You just got to be like, hey. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is that they're going to call you a racist and use that dumb rhetoric anyway. Who cares? I'm going to cook you because you're a dumbass. So this is why, like when I debate idiots like this, there's no mercy. There's no fucking mercy because you can't reason with these people. They're stupid. They're stupid. Everything that you say is going to be racist. So, you know what? Fuck it, man.
Showed no remorse.
Because he was defending what he did.
He lied in that defense, too. Do you know he told people? He told the police.
Yeah, I know.
Who people...
And just so you guys know, we're going to go ahead and go into the Twitter space here. I'm going to end the YouTube stream and then let people talk in the Twitter space, and we'll have a discussion.
Love that people respect the police's opinion, right? People respect what they do. People respect that honor. He lied in the 5th precinct. How can anything he do? Can we just stop calling him a hero? Can we do that?
No, I can't. I actually do view. I do view what he did as heroic.
Thanks for watching. Go to.
And she's so mad because this nigga hung out with the president and the vice president at the fucking Army-Navy game. So you know these BLM people are fucking seething. Here, I'll play a little bit of this clip. The fuck, get this goddamn ad out of here, man. Shit. My bad, chat.
All right, the big Army-Navy game today. It's a traditional, it's a big deal. This year, both are doing really, really well. And they added drama of the next president of the United States going to the big game and bringing some pretty important people with him, including several of his big cabinet picks, as well as some others. So it's going to be a big day. Madison Scarpino has more. Madison.
Hey, good morning, Neil. Yeah, an iconic game in the college football world. People are already loading into the stadium behind me. But you mentioned it. There's going to be some big political names here today, and that includes President-elect Donald Trump, who went to several Army-Navy games as president during his first term. He'll be with Vice President-elect and Marine veteran J.D. Vance. We're also expecting Army vet and Defense Secretary nominee Pete Hegseth and Florida Governor and former Navy lawyer Ron DeSantis. Now, several sources tell Fox that President-elect Trump is, or at some point was, considering replacing Hegseth with DeSantis. Now, this after sexual misconduct and drinking allegations against Hegseth, all of which he denies. Now, other
Yeah, we all know bitches be lying, so what else is new with
expected
that?
guests include DNI.
I don't like Pete Hegseth because he's a fucking, war hawk neocon, but so is DeSantis. DeSantis also shills for a state the size of New Jersey.
Nominee in Army
You guys know what I'm
Tulsi
saying.
Gabbard, House Speaker Mike Johnson, whose son actually attends the Naval Academy, and Marine vet Daniel Penny, who was just acquitted in the New York City subway chokehold death of Jordan Neely. But it's unclear if President Biden will be here today. Although it's somewhat of a tradition for the commander-in-chief to be at this game, he's never been to one as president. So the sidelines are something to watch during today's game as well, Neil. But it's a huge game today. Both Army and Navy, as you said, they...
Yeah, guys, my X handle is Myron Gaines X. It's here, I'll pull it up for you ninjas real quick. Because I'm going to be opening up the X space so people can talk. So if you want to go ahead and interact with me, I will go ahead and drop the X space link in here. We can listen to some of these crybabies. I'll drop the link in here for you guys right now. So I'll drop it in the chats for you guys. I'm going to end the YouTube streams. I'm going to stay live on Rumble. And then we're going to do the Luigi Mangione story after this on Fed Reacts.
They have some great football teams this year, and we spent the day yesterday speaking with leaders from the game's sponsor, USAA, leaders from the academies, and some cadets.
Army-Navy game is really one of the best days of the year, but I really think that everything that we do on a day-to-day basis is just a reminder of our opportunity that we get to excel, and at the end of the day, we get to be leaders.
At the end of the day, we remember that we're all on the same team, and after we win the game or we're able to shake hands and move forward.
It's the 125th matchup between the Black Knights and the Midshipmen. The Black Knights have won most of
I'm
the
dropping a
games
link in there for you guys.
years, but we will see what happens.
That's the X
today.
Space. Open it up on your Twitter. Join in. I just put it in on YouTube and on Rumble. Let me go back here. Okay, and then also I want to get Danny. We're going to play a portion of Daniel Penny's interview after getting acquitted. So join in right now in that space, guys. Join in on the space and start requesting, guys. And we'll bring some people in to speak.
The subway here.
And then also, guys, do me a favor. What do we got here? We got, how many ninjas watching on YouTube? We got 1,500 y'all watching on YouTube right now. Shout out to you guys on Fresh and Fit. Only one request. I need y'all niggas to like the video. All right? We got 80 like. Bro, you guys better stop being. Like the goddamn video. What the fuck? Like the damn video. All right? We need to hit at least 1,000 likes. Like, what the fuck? All right, play this video.
Hero Daniel Penny is speaking out for the first time after he was acquitted this week in the subway chokehold case.
Penny opened up about his experience in an exclusive interview with our own Judge Jeanine Pirro.
The full interview with Daniel Penny is available on Fox Nation.
That's right. So one day after being acquitted, he sat down at a location, looks like an office, probably one of his attorney's offices, overlooking Lower Manhattan. And, you know, yesterday on the program, we were talking about how he was exonerated, how he was acquitted. And we wondered, given the fact that he has been to hell and back 10 times since he was charged with the death of Jordan Neely, would he do it again? If he were riding the subway today, would he do it again? Here is the surprising answer.
Again, guys, we got 1,400 you guys watching on YouTube right now. Do me a favor, like the video right now. Let's hit 1,000 likes on YouTube. Get the engagement up, and let's keep cooking, man. I'm doing a stream for you guys on a fucking Sunday on Fresh and Fit, which I never normally do. Early as hell, right before Fed Reacts. So come on, man. Show some love. Like the video. We're going to go ahead and give you guys another stream tomorrow. We're probably going to have a Money Monday for you guys. And then we're also going to bring on some girls. So it's going to be a good time tomorrow. We're cooking all week, guys. We're cooking all week. So like the video. Let's hit 1,000 likes on YouTube. And then we'll switch on over to the X Space to interact with the people.
Will you take the subway again?
Yeah, and I have been. I believe in New York. I love New York.
Knowing what you know now, Danny, if you faced the same situation again, would you do it again?
Yeah, totally. I would not be able to live with myself if I didn't do anything in that situation and someone got hurt. I would feel guilty for the rest of my life.
Yeah, fuck you, BLM. You would do it again. Let's go.
And I think I'm in a position, and all people, if they're in a position to help, should always help. I think that's the New York thing to do. It's the American thing to do. And yeah, I would.
That's why he did it in the first place.
So he said that he believes that all people should help. I mean, that's how we all feel is that, especially if you're a man, you don't watch women and children. One lady had a baby, being harassed and don't do anything about it. And there's such a void right now. The cops can't do their job anymore. You know, the DAs, a lot of criminals just.
And obviously, guys, he's going to say he would do it again because, like, for him to say no would imply that he's guilty of something. So obviously that's like, you know, his legal team told him, like, yeah, bro, you better say you go do that again, nigga. You know what I mean? Like, let's be honest here. Also, bro, look at my, guys, this is Frank right now asleep. What is wrong with this nigga, man? Look at this shit, bro. Look at this guy. Y'all see that? Look at this guy. Hold on. Bro, who sleeps like that? What's wrong with this guy, bro? Yo, What the fuck? This nigga dead.
Take us under siege in this city. It's like Gotham City in New York right now. And so it's only up to us to stand in. I still, even though he got off and the jury's put a red line in, I think more people are going to be hesitant to get involved now, Rachel.
Yeah, that's the problem, right? I mean, we want good Samaritans. We want heroes to step forward, especially young, strong men like this, with the kind of experience he has from the military, to step in and do the right thing. And I do think people will be hesitant. And part of it is because...
Oh, yeah, people are definitely going to be hesitant. Especially, look, here's the thing. Now, what New York has effectively done is people are going to be less likely to intervene and help others. And... guys, New York is already a fucking failed state. All right, let me just, for those of you that are like unaware, like the video, almost at 1,000 by the way, guys. Like it on YouTube, motherfuckers. New York City is a fucking cesspool, guys. It's dirty. Crime is rampant. It's expensive. Like, it just sucks. All right? So, gun laws are trash. So, now... if people see crimes going on the train, which happens all the fucking time, by the way, like this shit happens all the time. Like, granted, someone died, so obviously it hit mainstream news, especially since it was a white person and a black person, right? But shit like this happens in New York all the time. Now people are gonna be less likely to fucking act, bro, and help each other out, which is the real L for the citizens.
When it first happened, people were hailing him as a hero initially, because we have to remember what was going on at that time. People were dying on the subway. There were people getting shoved into the tracks. And then this guy comes in and does that.
Yes, and there was a huge crime surge, guys, after the pandemic in New York City. Huge crime surge. Any of you guys that listen to New York Drill, you guys know, fucking, there were shootouts all over the place. In Brooklyn, all over the place, with the COVID lockdowns.
And then right away, as soon as he starts getting that hero adulation, the forces of the racial justice cottage industry starts, doing their thing and trying to turn him into a villain. This young man actually talked to Judge Neely. By the way, this kid has good judgment, also picking Judge Neely. She did this interview beautifully. She was the right person to do this. I was getting even better than Barbara Walter vibes off this. Judge Janine killed it in this interview. She was amazing. And here he is talking to her about what it was like to go from hero to villain because of the racial justice industry. Listen.
You go from a hero to a villain when they say they're going to indict you.
Right.
How do you feel about that?
Obviously it's...
And like I told you guys before, they didn't arrest him right there on the spot, guys. The cops did not arrest him right there on the spot. So that means the case went to a detective. The detective contacted the DA. DA said, look, bro, we're gonna have to probably take this case and prosecute this guy because there's a lot of instigation from the BLM and all the other, racial groups. And kind of let the court system handle it. Because if they didn't, New York City would have burned down, probably.
It's pretty nerve-wracking. It was very anxiety-inducing. Mm-hmm. But throughout this whole process, I would remind myself of the witnesses coming up to thank me. And really, no matter what outcome the trial had, I only cared about what the witnesses said about the situation. And I only cared about their opinions.
Someone, immediately when this happened, I got a text message and said, I surf with this guy. I've been surfing with him for 2.5 years. He's one of the greatest guys. I go, is there anything in his background that's going to come up as we were trying to make sense of this? He goes, zero. And then you find out they went all over his background, tried to find anything he did, walked across traffic, anything, worked against traffic. And he was actually in the military. Okay. He was actually in the military for a while.
Yeah, it looks like a Brooklyn bro.
Excuse me, in the military for a while. He also...
because he had one of those hipster mustaches.
It was in the symphony. So when he has some time, he wants to be an architect. Mm-hmm. And he was going to the gym. So he's not even, there was nothing about him that did anything but correct. But here's what I worry about. I worry about the civil trial. Yeah. And with the threshold being so low, and they're saying, the cause of death, and remember that this could cost millions of dollars. And I just thank the American people for allowing his legal bills to be paid, because he's not from a family that could write a big check to be bankrupt. And number two, I worry about the civil trial, because that'll send the wrong message too. It's okay, I'm exonerated, but I'm broke. So you're going to bankrupt me, you're going to garnish my wages because I lost a civil trial to, for what I can tell, a father that was MIA. This kid, this 25-year-old, Jordan Neely, was put up for adoption or foster care.
Hey, by the way, guys, we're at 819 likes. Let's hit 1,000 and just 1,000. Smash that like button because I don't want to stop the stream. But if you guys keep doing this, I'm going to have to act like one of them boys. Let's stop the stream. Get the likes up.
where he pretty much abused. His mom was killed by the boyfriend, and she was chopped up and put in a suitcase. So you can imagine the trauma with that. And where was the dad? Well, the dad now has a cash register out. He's going to sue civilly, and he's going to look to
So
cash.
he's showing up now for the payout. That's amazing.
Well, it's just unfortunate because he had a rough life. I sympathize with his
Jordan Neely,
with his story, but that is not society's fault, and it's not the innocent people that were on the subway's fault. There is a system for them.
Exactly. Just because you had a rough upbringing doesn't mean that you get to go ahead and be a fucking nuisance to everybody, man. People forget that shit.
That system clearly failed, but you don't get to create some person to be the person that you crucify as a result of that. Go after the system, say he didn't get homeless care, food and all that, go after his family, but you don't get to make the guy that was the hero suddenly this villain. The last thing I'll say about this is a story also about the elites. I've been watching other networks talk about this. You have the luxury not to have to take public transportation. There's a lot of people that have to take the subway, that have to take the bus.
Yeah, especially in New York City, bro. Everybody's taking public transportation in New York City. Everybody, bro.
I mean, we're blessed enough to be paid where, you know, if we want to take a black car, we can take a black car, okay? Average day New Yorkers cannot do that. They can't afford an Uber, especially with all the surge prices.
And that's why AOC's comments about this were so, actually I found them kind of shocking because she is, for all her flaws, she's a populist. After Trump won, she went on social media and was like, hey, I really want to understand what happened here. Some people voted for Trump, some people, and at the same time voted for me. She seemed curious and wanting to be in touch with everyday people. But then these comments have resurfaced of what she said at this time.
Yeah, AOC's an idiot, to be honest with y'all. But the thing, look, bro, the reason why, look, I'm convinced that if you're going to be a Democrat, you have to be delusional to some degree because the left keeps going more left, right? And people that were left before start to become center. And then if you give it enough time, they start to become right wing because the Overton window for the left keeps shifting. And then it keeps dragging these people along with it. And then they end up as centrists or Republicans. I always use this example. Tim Pool, 10 years ago, was considered a liberal, a Democrat. Now, he's considered a right-wing Republican, right? And then if you look at, like, Trump's terms, Trump isn't really that, like, right, guys. Like, he's not really that right-wing. He's actually very centered. If you, like, actually listen to Trump's policies and shit, he's actually pretty damn centered. So, but that's how loony the left has become. That's how loony it's become, guys. So, if you actually label yourself as a leftist or a liberal or whatever, you're a dumbass. You're literally I just don't know what to say. Like, you don't live in reality. You think there's more than two genders, right? You think mass immigration is the wave, right? You think that Republicans simply just make the rich richer. Like, you believe all these, like, dumbass, like, concepts that just don't adhere to reality.
And her instincts were so wrong.
Yeah.
She's not with the common people who have to take the subway at all.
Regarding Danny Penny taking the subway, and he just said that he takes the subway all the time. And he will.
Guys, we're 884 likes. Let's hit 1,000. Man, look, I'm gonna have to stop the show now, man. Look, guys, like the goddamn video. We need 1,000 likes on this bitch. Then I'm gonna shift. We're gonna go to Rumble and X only. We're gonna hold the clam chowder meeting. All right. We're going to talk to some of the people, because I know I probably got some angry people in here that got something that they want to say. And we'll have a discussion on the Daniel Penny case and everything else like that. All right? Which, by the way, I dropped the link for the X Space in the chats on Fed Reacts, and I'm going to drop it right now on... we're at 913. Hit 1,000, motherfuckers. I'll drop it right now on FNF. Watch on YouTube. But of course, open up a tab so you can listen to it on the X Space. I dropped the direct link for the X Space so that you guys can come in. Drop it again for you guys. On Rumble, I got it pinned. On Fed Reacts chat, I got it pinned. And on FNF, I don't got it pinned, but I'm spamming it. And we're at 932. Let's go, guys. 70 more likes. 70 more likes, ninjas. And then for those of you that are in the Twitter space right now, shout out to all you guys that are in here. A couple hundred of you guys in here. Just, and then there's a bunch more of you guys watching the live stream. So shout out to all you guys. Do me a favor, guys. Request if you want to come up and speak, but only request if you disagree. If you agree, we don't want to make this an echo chamber. We want people that are going to have a disagreement. So I'm looking right now. Looks like a lot of these people that are requesting agree. Need you ninjas to disagree. And we are at 966. Come on, guys. 40 more likes and we'll keep going on this stream. Oh, all my guys on CastleClub, I'll drop the link for you guys here as well. If you guys don't mind, join the X Space there for me. Just drop the link a couple times for you guys. We're live streaming on, what, 4 or 5 different platforms right now? Shout out to all you guys. Yes, the clam chowder meeting is happening on X. The clan meeting. 978. 22 more likes, guys. 16 more likes. See, I hate doing this. But this is what I gotta do to get the fucking engagement up because you guys don't want to fucking like the video. You guys want to act like them boys. Right? Some fucking taking some shekels from you or some shit. Just like the goddamn video. It's not that hard. It's absolutely free. Oh, 997? 3 more and we continue the stream. 3 more. Let's see. All right, we hit it. Let's go.
Again.
Good shit,
I'm
guys.
sure he's going to take it today. The thing about Danny Penny, though, is he's got a distinctive look. I mean, if you would spot that hair a mile up. I bet he wears, he probably wears a stocking cap. He probably wears a hat.
He does. I saw photos of him out with his girlfriend recently in one of these magazines, and he's wearing a hat. He's trying to just live his life, but it's going to be hard.
Because think about it. If Danny Penny sat down next to you on a subway, I'd love that. Hey, sit next to me on the subway. But a lot of people here in New York, he's a bad guy, even though he has been fully exonerated by a jury of his peers.
And that's why let me
sit next to me.
Make clear what AOC said. AOC said the subways are less safe because of people like Jordan Neely.
What a stupid comment.
What a dumb comment.
Right, and it's for someone who grew up in New York, you should know better. And I will say this, the whole interview, you got to watch it because Judge handles it because she gets out of the way. She asks the question and lets him go. And when a guy has long pauses, my old instinct is to jump in. She lets the silence happen. And the number 2 is, Lawrence, I'll tell them end something. I get on a subway because you can't get anywhere in New York.
Right.
You know, if someone tells me they're going to get in a car, especially with the Christmas tree and lighting, I can't get it. It will take me 45 minutes to get to the tunnel. So I always hop on a subway. Last night I did too. And I always go on Long Island Railroad.
Yeah, everyone, he's talking about the Lear. Everyone uses the subway in New York, bro. Like, the richest people use it, the poorest people use it. It's the only really way to get around New York City. And everybody in here that lives in the city knows what the fuck I'm talking about, bro.
Because I can't get anywhere.
So what would you do in this situation? By the way, didn't we have Adam, our weather guy, actually got into an altercation?
On a subway.
Yep.
1:30 in the morning.
What do people like you who take the subway, especially knowing what Daniel Penny has gone through, you see the same situation, do you jump in?
Absolutely, you have to jump in. Especially, I see a woman with a child. Are you kidding? You have to, and let the chips fall where they may.
Well, I'll tell you this, it's going to be a lot harder for people to jump in now, bro. I'll tell you that. People are going to be way less likely to intervene now with this bullshit going on.
I will say, I talk to cops all the time. Nobody talks more than you. I get it. But everywhere I go, and everyone agrees it's getting better. Law enforcement feels backed.
Yeah.
I think that this place, New York City, has got families here walking on the streets. Our tree is a huge place for everyone to come. I sense that things are turning in the country, and I think this case is going to be the beginning of the end of the woke DAs.
Yep.
The American, not Democrats and Republicans. I think things are turning for the better.
The way BLM looks so ridiculous and impotent outside of that is a sign.
Here's the thing. They're wrong on that one. This is not the end of the woke DAs, and I'll tell you guys why. The DAs now, I'm telling you guys, after the George Floyd case, that changed law enforcement and use of force in America forever, and it also changed prosecutorial offices forever. They're going to always indict, and they're going to leave it to the state and the prosecutors, they're going to leave it to the jury to deal with it. Because the DA's offices don't want to deal with the accountability of them not prosecuting. So you best believe, guys, from this point forward, anytime a black person is killed by a white person or killed by a police officer, they're going to indict every single time. They don't want to deal with the backlash, bro. I'm telling y'all.
14 of them? I mean, come on.
Yeah. We would all love to get back to normal. Let's hope that happens. I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
All right, so guys, we're going to go ahead and shift over to Rumble and X. Y'all know what time it is, man. We are going to shift over. Let's get ready to rumble! All right, so I'm going to go ahead and drop the Rumble link in here for you guys on YouTube. There is the Rumble link. Join in right now, guys. I'm going to end it on YouTube here. And we're going to keep going on Rumble and on X because obviously free speech is very important. And we all know that I can't say half the shit that I want to say when we're on fucking YouTube. So come on over, guys. We're going to switch. We are going to switch. Dropping a link in here for you guys. Again, coming over to the home of free speech. If you're watching on CastleClub, don't worry. You're good. But I'm going to end the stream on YouTube right now. Let me just move this. So we got the X space here. Give me one sec, chat. All right, I am going to end. So guys, come on over. I dropped the Rumble link in there. Come on over to Rumble. It's that time, ninjas. Ending the stream on Fed Reacts here. And then ending the